Andy, welcome, man. Thank you so much for taking the time. Greatly appreciate you hopping on with us. We're just starting our Built for Live series, and it's an honor to have you here, man. So greatly appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you having me on and glad that we're able to finally do this.
Right on, man. So Andy, why don't you give a little background on yourself, where you came from, your experience in the industry, and then what brought you over to Trillist?
Yeah, man. So, kind of started off, I've always been in sports and entertainment, right? I started off my career as a ticket taker for the Atlanta Braves over at the time at SunTrust Park and then eventually Truist Park. And that was really that's kind of where I pinpoint the start of everything. Never knew what I wanted to do. Was doing guest services with them and realized, hey, this is something that I think I could spend the rest of my life doing, right? So from there, I was able to kind of parlay that into an internship with their minor league affiliate, the Gwinnett Stripers, as their stadium operations trainee, and that's just kind of where I fell in love with live events. From there, went on to the Atlanta Hawks and State Farm Arena is who I kind of pinpoint as they helped build me. They helped build the leader that
Definitely.
I am today. They helped build everything, right? And so did the same thing. Went over there as a trainee in their event operations department from 2019 into 2020, and as we all know, in 2020, COVID happened. And with that, the live entertainment industry kind of came to a screeching halt. I remember being at the game, being at the Hawks game when they announced, "Hey, this is the last game for the foreseeable future." Right? They paused the NBA season, and it was at that kind of moment I started to realize I got scared. I was like, "Well, what does that mean for me?" Right? I was in an internship, a traineeship. During the middle of COVID, and sports and live entertainment came to a screeching halt, right? So I still needed to do something. So I kind of, went a complete opposite direction. Both my parents were first responders, so
Oh wow.
I ended up joining Gwinnett Fire Department, and I was a firefighter for a year and a half
Oh wow.
until everything kind of came until the live entertainment and sports just came back, right? And then from there, the Hawks posted a security specialist position. I had zero experience when it came to security. All of my experience was in operations and guest experience, but I'm a big believer that those pillars that you take, especially in guest experience, they can take you anywhere. So back in 2021, ended up joining the Atlanta Hawks back as their security specialist and just worked my way up, where I ended up being their senior manager of safety and security. But
Nice.
last June is when I had the opportunity to come down here to Trilith Live and start something brand new. So my entire career, I always wanted to open up a brand new venue. Right, it was always on my bucket list. Wanted to open up something brand new, and kind of the stars align. Right, Trilith Live is in Fayetteville, Georgia. It's also happened to be where I grew up at. I spent my entire childhood here in Fayetteville, Georgia. My general manager was my old boss and my current mentor and my old mentor back at the Hawks, and so he's now the executive director and general manager down here, and so everything just lined up perfectly to get the opportunity to come down here now as their director of security and guest experience, and as of next month or so as of June 2026, it'll be a full year since I've come down here, so kind of surreal. We are full and operational now. We have opened it up. We're kind of now in the maintaining and continuing to build our operation and perfecting the operation, right? So that's
Nice.
kind of where we're at now.
Awesome. So how has that experience been now that going from actually like working in operations that have already been built, right? Now going into launching a venue. What kind of challenges did you face and are you still facing? And then also what are some key highlights that you went through that, that became super successful or anything
Yeah.
along those lines?
So it was absolutely the hardest thing and the most terrifying thing I've ever done. Right in my head, I was like, "All right, going from an arena to a performing arts center or a little live entertainment complex, it can't be that hard, right?" But this journey has been absolutely the hardest thing ever, right? It was also a moment where kind of had to grow up as a leader as well, right? I've always led a team, right? Being the senior manager over at State Farm Arena, right? I led a part-time team of 200 staff. I led a full-time team of 3 to 4, but right here, building something from scratch, right? It was something that I had never had the experience before, right? It's stuff you take for granted how much of a well-oiled machines some things are, right? The Atlanta Hawks at State Farm Arena, right? They were a well-oiled machine. Everything was clockwork, right? Processes had been done this way for X amount of years. And so that road was already built, right? Not saying that, we never changed anything from time to time, but everything was there, right? Everything that we needed was there. And it was literally me starting from scratch and from my previous experiences, right? Things that you don't think of, such as scheduling softwares, things that you don't think
Yeah.
of, such as, CMMS system, incident management systems, right? SOPs that you have to build. But the great thing about it is, from all my experiences that I've had, I got to make this one my own, right? I got to build this one how I liked it, right? I could take the things that I didn't like and say, hey, we don't want to do that. And I can steal, quote unquote, the things that I loved at other places, saying, hey, this worked really well when we did this over at Coolray Field, or this worked really well at the arena. This worked very well at SunTrust. Let's implement it here. The one I would say, the one tribulation, or the one I wouldn't say reservation, but the one difficult thing that I had to do here was, I come from major force sport, right? MLB. I come from NBA, and now I'm kind of, I don't like using the term downsizing or downgrading, because it's not that, right? The
Yeah.
operation, you know, it's still a well-oiled machine, but it's still a beast. But I had to kind of scale back the way that I think, right? I don't have the security procedures that I have to follow from an NBA arena, right? I'm not 20,000 seats, right? I'm
Yeah.
not 40,000 seats at an MLB stadium. I'm not 15,000 seats at a minor league park, right? I am 3,000 seats here, with a live entertainment complex that still, I have to protect as well. So kind of, reeling it back is the way that I had to say is, I may not have to go to some of the extremes that we had to do, right?
Yeah.
With some of those other venues that I've been at. So that was probably the most difficult. The difficult part is reminding myself, hey, I'm not an NBA arena, and nor do I have to act like an NBA arena. I don't have to have the same procedures as an NBA arena. And once I kind of got that, it made everything much easier, right? Coming from an MLB stadium, coming from an NBA arena, all those procedures that are in place, all those policies that the leagues have to make you follow, not having that anymore. But that's all I've ever known, right? And that
Yeah.
and when that's all you ever know, that's all you ever want to know too. So making that adjustment was it was a learning curve for me, but it's still great, because the MLB does a lot of great stuff. The NBA does a lot of great stuff. And they've, they've kind of had they've shaped how security is. They've shaped guest experience. They've shaped hospitality and what the great things are with it. So I've been blessed in that aspect.
Awesome. So what are some key things? You mentioned a little bit, obviously technology, staff scheduling technology. Maybe there's some other technology that you've utilized, because that's obviously a big topic to streamline operations now, right? Not necessarily to replace staff, but just to make things a little more efficient, because there's a lot going on, especially with human error, right? In from a technology standpoint, and even if you're doing things still kind of the archaic way, what would you say? What are some key things you brought over from your experiences at these larger venues and technology pieces that you've implemented here at Trilith Live?
Yeah, to your point, ironically, I think AI is a big thing too, and it's how you use AI. I think it is kind of the taboo thing that venues see nowadays. Obviously, you're not inputting any sensitive information into it, right? But to your point, streamlining things, and seeing what it spits out as well, right? A lot of people use it nowadays for, hey, rewrite this email, make this email sound better, do this, right? But hey, how can we look at from the guest experience way differently, right? Hey, how can we continue to incentivize not only staff, how can we incentivize the guests to coming back, right?
Yep.
We can obviously pull from, I can pull from my network, and I can pull from LinkedIn, and all these other people who have done stuff too. But just inserting simple things like that just gives you a fresh perspective as well. It's going to give you the stuff that you already knew, but it also gives you the, hey, I didn't think about it in that type of way too. Um, but from other than that, really, from a technology standpoint, pulling from my other venues, incident management's a huge thing, right?
Yep.
I've been to a lot of conferences, and I've talked to a lot of other venues who still do it the old way of, hey, we use an Excel spreadsheet and we insert everything in there. But timestamps are a big thing. AI,
Yeah.
even in these incident management softwares too, of hey, this is going on. This is what needs to happen now. 24/7's been a great thing to where they have a lot of
Mhm.
stuff that you can, if your fire alarm is going off, right, it pulls up all your procedures that you've inserted that you're supposed to do. It says, hey, this is what you need to be looking at. These are kind of the timestamps and that flow, quote unquote, that needs to happen. And I think using technology in that way, and making it seamless for the user, right? In my position, I've had to set everything up, but I'm not the one that's utilizing everything every single day, right? My managers, our part-time staff, our full-time supervisors are the boots on the ground individuals who have to utilize the software. And I think it's making it so as user friendly for them.
And I feel like from that point, it really helps you carve out your SOPs, right? And how you're really going to utilize the software for your venue. Because you're talking about you just launched, right? Not too long ago, and you're probably still in processing. And as things progress, your SOPs are changing and helping you
Yep.
fine tune those so you can train staff in the future. So has that been super helpful leaning into your team that are actually boots on the ground utilizing it besides the research you've done and what you know of it, but then putting them on the front line, utilizing it, information coming back.
Yeah, and it shows kind of where what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. To your point, fine tuning the SOPs is the perfect way to put it, right? Our SOPs that we had day one versus now, 5 months later, just opening, they've changed, right? Because
Yeah.
we've noticed, hey, this doesn't really work for our venue, or hey, the amount of time that we thought this would take, it actually takes much less, or it takes a little longer than we thought too. I think it would be ignorant of us to say, hey, these are the SOPs that I've written. This is what we've taken from all of our different experiences. This is what we're doing, and it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter how they act. This is what they're supposed to be, and that doesn't help anybody.
Right.
But it's been great. It kind of working through what doesn't work. It's made me a better leader, right? These are experiences that I'm going to be able to take anywhere and go, hey, we tried it this way. We thought that it was going to be this perfect seamless experience, and it blew up in our face, and we had to come back to the drawing table or the drawing board and figure out something new.
Yeah, totally. Okay, cool. And back on the topic of technology and also a little bit of why we're here together because you are a partner of ours and we really appreciate, you jumping on with us. And I'm just curious to know, before you jumped on with us though, like what other softwares did you use when it comes to scheduling perspective, a staff scheduling perspective? And then what was it about our solution that you like and that you do like and how is it working out for you?
Yeah, so I've used a handful of scheduling softwares in the past. I've done everything from analog, right? Excel spreadsheet, paper, pens and paper, just collecting availability, right? Having team members say, "What is your availability for the month?" Or, "Hey, what days are you available for the week?" And then, I'm spending an hour, 2, 3 hours a week, with pen and paper, just all right. Well, this person can work this day, this person can't work that day, right? That is not the most efficient way, obviously, as we all know, and it's time consuming, right? We all have things that we have to do, and it's not it's not the most effective. I've used softwares. We demoed a lot of softwares, right? We ABI, Lasso, things of that nature. But the one thing that really kept us coming to Event Staff App was just really the simplicity of it and how user friendly it was. And then obviously a budgetary standpoint, right? For what we need it for the cost of it, and then what the outputs are, second to none, right? Couldn't have asked for a better product. Our staff
Awesome.
absolutely love it too. It's easy,
Yeah.
right? At the end of the day, it's easy. And I'm very big into how can we make the job easier for the frontline team members, right? How can we make the job easier for the individuals who are putting in the work? And in their aspect, it's simple, right? They get a list of events. Hey, can you work it? Can you not work it? Right? They come to our venue, one simple button, clock in, clock out, right?
Yeah.
It's not the process of it's just not a long process. It is very user friendly, and it's very, hey, do I have something scheduled this day? All right, nope. Let's put in for it. And then when you actually get scheduled, getting that notification, and getting those reminders. Reminders are a big thing too, right? Because
Yeah.
if we send out our availability, we like to do it a month in advance. I may have done my entire month of June back in the first week of May, right?
Yeah.
And I may have forgotten. that what I did or didn't put in for come June. And then being able to export to my personal calendar or their personal calendar has been absolutely fantastic too. So I think that was really the main selling points for us. And then continuing on to, talking with you, Jordan, talking with Christoph as well. The support, right? The customer support aspect of, hey, is this something that you're looking to do? Let us know and let us know how we can build it out. Sometimes when some of these bigger softwares that you go with, they have so many clients, right? There's so
Hmm.
much stuff that goes with it, and it's, hey, we're looking to do this, and it may be a, hey, well, you're the only venue that's looking to do that, so it may not necessarily be worth
Yeah.
our time to build something out. And that hasn't been an issue for us here, right? We've come out with a bunch of stuff of, hey, have you thought about this? This is how we're looking to do it, and that support has always been, hey, let's figure out how we can make it work.
Yeah, that's key too. And I think, and within that, we lean into AI a lot when it comes to development of our product now and learning how to streamline from our end. How can we get things done faster? And it's just been super helpful from a production standpoint of, updating and enhancing our features and our product in general. So, man, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate that. So, um, another question is, when it comes to Trilith Live and where you guys are at right now, where are you going? Any new any things in the future people should be aware of? Like any, I don't know, what kind of events are you working on? Anything special coming up?
Yeah, yeah, man. So I think the biggest thing is just, we're trying to be the new premier venue. Not even just in Metro Atlanta, not even south of Metro Atlanta. Our goal is to be up there with, everybody else, and be that name that you recognize, that brand that you recognize, right? Beacon Theater, Madison Square Garden, all these places, YouTube Theater. You
Yeah.
say those venue names, you know exactly what they are, where they're at, and how great they are, right? We're brand new, we're up and coming. The biggest thing that we were trying to do is bring that entertainment south of Metro Atlanta, right? Right now, all of those big major, all of our major venues in Georgia, right? They're in the heart of Atlanta, right? So you have to battle through rush hour traffic, and all my fellow ATLians, Atlanteans know, right, that traffic, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. is rough. Any day of the week, doesn't matter if it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday through Friday. So being able to bring that, to the South Atlanta area, to where you don't have to get on the interstate and battle through that traffic every single day. But at the end of the day, we are looking to be, that premier spot, right? We want the biggest names coming. Rock and roll, alternative, hip hop, R&B, you name it, right? So we're looking to do that, and we're excited to see what's to come.
Right on, man. Well, Andy, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to hop on and just chat with me for a little bit. This has been great, dude. Greatly appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, Jordan. And then big thanks to Event Staff app as well for how easy and how simplistic they've made the process for me and my staff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, have a good one. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Jordan.